Let's analyze the slope of a horizontal line. Let's create a table of values. How about when x is 0? Well, when x is 0, y is equal to 3. How about when x is 5? Well, y is also 3. How about if x is equal to 9? Well, y is still equal to 3. How about for negative values? A negative 1. Well, y is still equal to 3. Let's look at slope as the change in vertical over the change in horizontal. In other words, the change in y over the change in x. Well, our change in y is 0. And our change in x could be anything. It could be 5 there. Let's take a look at the change in y from coordinate b to a. In other words, change in y, the y coordinate of point B and the y coordinate of point A, over the change in x, which is equivalent to the x coordinate of B minus the y coordinate of B. Substituting in our values, would give us 0 over 4, which is a slope of 0. So the slope of any horizontal line will always be equal to 0. In this case, we could write the equation for that horizontal line as y is equal to 3. And y will always equal 3 regardless of what the value of x is. Next, let's analyze the characteristics of a vertical line. Let's create a table of values for the graphed vertical line. Once again, slope, which is equal to m, which is equal to the change in y over the change in x, which is equal to the change in vertical over the change in horizontal, or we could call it the rise over the run. So in this case, we can see that we have an infinite rise. We can go from a negative infinity to a positive infinity. And our run would be 0. We're not changing horizontally. Let's analyze this for the slope between points B and point A. In other words, the change in y over the change in x would be equivalent to the y coordinate of B minus the y coordinate of A over the x coordinate of B minus the x coordinate of A. Let's substitute our values in there. So we'd have 8 minus 2 over 5 minus 5, which is equivalent to 6 over 0. Well, we cannot divide a number by 0, so we would call this slope undefined. Every vertical line has a slope that is undefined. And we can write the equation for this line as x is equal to 5. In other words, it's regardless of what value y is, x is always going to equal 5.